Hello, welcome to the World Public Media channel. Today we are going to introduce you to a hero who changed the course of history. Take your chair and sit down because you are going to find out who exactly Volodymyr Zelensky is. He was a comedian, played a role in the most famous series on national television, and now he is a warlord. Volodymyr Zelensky is far from having the classic trajectory of a politician. At 44, the Ukrainian president has become the symbol of resistance to the Russians, who invaded the country on February 24, 2022 and are advancing inexorably into the country. Nothing had predestined Volodymyr Zelensky to become the head of his country. Of Jewish origin, he was born in 1978 in the industrial town of Kryvyi Rih, in the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. After graduating from law school, he turned to television in the 1990s, taking part in KVN, a game show that was very popular in the USSR, and then became a comedian. In 2006, he won the Ukrainian version of Dancing with the Stars at the age of 28. Volodymyr Zelensky has become the most admired person in the free world. His Legos sell, and nowadays there are derivative products of Zelensky. There is a lot written about him, but mostly by the West. Until now we have seen Zelensky through the Western lens, which sees Vladimir Putin as the villain and Zelensky as the hero. Putin, the man who labels polar bears, and Zelensky, the president who dances on the cha-cha. In terms of chatter, Vladimir Putin barely talks about his family while Zelensky shares photos of his wife and children on all social networks. Since February 24, when Russia declared war on Ukraine, the Western world has presented President Zelensky as the antithesis of Putin. In the history of war, we are given Zelensky as the good guy and Putin as the bad guy. If we take time to look at Zelensky independently of the story, we can ask ourselves, who is he really? Some people say that he has authoritarian traits, just like Putin. Mr. Zelensky is 44 years old this year. He grew up in a town called Kryvyi Rih. His father was a computer teacher and his mother was an engineer. He grew up in one of the best neighborhoods in the city. While the kids wore suits, Zelensky wore suits. He loved English rock and he loved to play the guitar. Even she had a pair of blue jeans with her friend Alexander Pikolov. The jeans went back and forth between the two depending on who had a date. In 2012, long before the emergence of the Crimea, Zelensky was sitting on some $15 million. A high school teacher named Volodymyr was filmed ranting against corruption, and this monologue goes viral and the teacher becomes president. Volodymyr sets out to chart his own course, surrounds himself with old friends instead of the old ruling class. Appoints inexperienced people to office. It turns out that all this could have been a campaign ad spread over 3 seasons. The series lasted from 2015 to 2019 seasons. The show ran from 2015 to 2019. In the last hours of 2018, Zelensky announced that he would run for office, without experience but with 2 big promises. First, he would fight corruption and confront the Ukrainian oligarchs, and second, he would end the war in the Donbass. Zelensky said, "You don't need experience to be president, you just need to be a decent human being." His comedy career has been to portray former presidents in a bad light, whether it was Viktor Yushchenko or Petro Poroshenko. Zelensky promised not to be like them. He presented himself as the total alternative to these presidents. 73 Ukrainian voters supported him. He took office on May 2, 2019, just like Volodymyr. Zelensky once came to power, installed friends in high-level positions. They all were integrated into the government, and here we are 3 years later. The war in Donbass has not ended, on the contrary. It has turned into the biggest crisis that Europe has experienced since the Second World War. About 1,000 civilians have been killed in Ukraine alone, more than 1,500 people have been injured and at least 3 million people have fled Ukraine. Zelensky did not keep his promise, and he could not have failed in a worse way. But he did face the crisis when the US offered to fly him out of Ukraine. Zelensky said, "I need ammunition, not airlift." The president appears on television every day, and every day he wears a fur green shirt and looks visibly exhausted. He is visibly exhausted and almost unshaven on the 6th day of the war. Zelensky addressed the European Parliament via video link, asking them to prove that they are with Ukraine. He is realizing what Putin had during the Chechen war. Daily press appearances, videos of war zones, sharing meals with troops, speaking to parliaments around the world, and it is all working. Help the channel to grow by sharing the video. Like and activate the notification bell. Don't forget to leave your point of view in comments.